Hello, and good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Whenever you decide to watch this broadcast, the Iron Thunder Racing Network back for the Iron Thunder Racing League Season 10, race number 8. I really just wanted to make up a sponsor that sponsored this track after the Atlanta news came out today, but we're better than that. The Dover! We're at Dover. I think it's Dover Motor Speedway now, after they rebranded when it became SMI track or whatnot. I'm not 100% sure, but whatnot. We're here for the Total Quality Logistics 130 TQL 130 tonight. We got 130 laps from this 1 mile concrete oval, and miles of monsters out there somewhere. And who knows? We might be seeing some interesting racing going on here tonight. Drivers are out on the racetrack qualifying right now, and that gives us a perfect opportunity to get everything loaded for you real quick, because that's about that time. I gave guys enough time to get into the server, so then I don't need to reload all this fun stuff. So we'll get all this typed in real quick. But it is race number 8 of the season. That means we have 3 late races left to go in the regular season until we get into our playoff portion of the season. And taking a look at our points here, and you can see names are missing. There's names missing here. Some names are missing from this list are guaranteed locked into playoffs, like our second in points, Dalton Tucker. He is missing. He is not here. I don't see his name on my timing sheet or anything, but he is missing tonight. He's not here. He's second in points, but he's got that win to fall back onto. You can also see 8th in points. I do believe that is Storm Patterson. He's not back out here again tonight. Why? I do not know. But he also has that locking to the playoffs. As long as he doesn't miss any more races, he should be good to go into the playoffs. But your top 10 drivers like Wiles, Kluserhoos, Yo3 is being driven tonight by Larry Yingling, normally driven by Kevin Hash. He's locked into my book, locked into the playoffs, because they're well above the playoff cut line. They're over 100 and some points over the cut line. Even Ray right now are sitting there in 7th. He should be good right now with 3 races to go to the playoffs to make it on points. This is where it gets interesting on the next page, because we're going to also miss some more drivers here. We're missing 18th in points. That would be Chris Gale. Tell me he's not racing tonight, so there's that. But there's a bunch of guys here who would love to just get into victory lane and make this a whole hell of a lot easier for them, but instead they're right now focusing on pointing their way in. And you can see the cut line between 16th and 17th is 12 points, and that's very easily doable for some of these guys to get in on points. Again, 12 points difference, even all the way back to 20th. The gap is only 21 points, and that's well accomplishable here over the next couple weeks, especially the tracks we go to. We go to the Chicago Street Course next week, and we got Darlington the week after that. So very, very doable for some of these guys who are sitting behind the playoff cut line to get above it. And then we're going to go back here. Some guys who are missing. Luke, he was the runner-up in the GT3 series we did a couple summers ago. He could very easily go out there and win at Chicago next week. Chrysler, he needs a win over the next couple weeks, even though 30 points isn't really difficult to do to make your way back into there. Rusi's also in another must-win situation. Carabina Grande, Jeff Pete, I think has to point his way in. I don't think he's made enough starts. And then we go even further back. There's no one on this page here. But some of these guys here, it's getting to must win. And some of these guys need to find a way to accumulate a massive amount of points to get themselves into the playoffs. Like I said, we essentially got 8-9 guys who are sitting at this point like locked into the playoffs. Kind of be hard for them to fall out. And I also honestly think Millet right now, without Tucker being here, has a great opportunity to lock up the regular season championship here soon too, because he's probably gonna have almost a 2-race lead over anyone in that category. But qualifying is going on right now. Looks like 18 guys have turned a lap. Speaking of Milt, he's the fastest guy on the track with a 22.744, so he's looking to get his 5th pole of the season. I don't really see anyone out there on track right now that could have the opportunity to do that. But it does look like qualifying's done, so we'll get these guys out on the grid. 23 drivers are here, 24 in the server. I truly don't blame people for not wanting to show up, because this track is a tough track to tame. I mean, we've only ran it 2 times prior here in the league, with Sawyer Ott and Donald Sadusky being the only other 2 guys who have won this race before. So there is it could be very, very interesting for some of these guys going out here tonight. But we'll go over your starting lineup. Again, it's Zach Miller, who put down that 22.744 for the pole. Again, his 5th pole this season, this Team Conti Sim Performance number 31 Chevrolet. And his outside will be his team, and the other Team Conti Sim Performance Chevrolet, number 88, Daniel Wiles. We'll see Kevin Weston 3rd tonight in that Trailer Park Dude on TikTok, number 01 machine. And in 4th will be number 97, SFTV, a guy to watch out next week. We'll go to Chicago, Eric Chapeau. Again, Larry Yingling and Ray Rittenauer, those will be the next 2 on the grid, 5th and 6th. Yingling's in the 03 tonight for Kevin Hash, and Rittenauer, he's in number 87. In 7th tonight, in the ITRN number 25, will be Brian Klusterhuis. 8th will be Brian Pimtat in that Empire Vinyl Company, number 48. 9th will be Matt Cherry, number 45, Toyota Gazoo Racing's Camry. And rounding out your top 10 will be Tristan Ott in that Smitty Supply Inc. number 15 Camry. 11th is Luke Carboneau. He's currently not on the grid in number 92 machine. 12th will be number 50 machine, the Liberty Paintball, number 50, Brian Russi. 13th will be number 35. I was told, he sent me the pronunciation on this. I don't think I can find this real quick, but it's Sawyer Ott. In 14th, in number 18, Premier Setup Shop, Chevrolet would be Roy Grande. 15th, in that Renani tankless water heaters, number 44 Dark Horse Mustang will be Nathan Shiflett. 16th, in that Menards scheme that I believe just actually won at Nashville Super Speedway in real life. 12 machine, Zach Chrysler. 17th tonight will be Caleb Barisa, number 67. 18th will be Matt Quick, number 89. 19th will be Josh Collier in the Flow Racing, number 33. And 20th will be Ryan Muniz in the number 20 Target Machine. 21st, not on the grid, will be Jeff Peet in number 91. 22nd will be Ryan Wortman in the number 74, racing against Desata, I hate pronouncing words sometimes, Racing for Jesus Machine. And rounding out your field tonight will be Matthew Carabine in the number 19 machine. 130 laps is the distance tonight. Stages are lap 30 laps. 70 of these guys get 5 sets of tires. Fuel might be out of the play, so it might just be 2 pit stops for some of these guys tonight. I do believe from the numbers I've given, you might be able to make stage 3 on fuel, so there is that. But the iRacing.com pace car is off, and here's Barney the Flagman with the green flag in his hand, and we are racing from Dover. You can see here, Millet, Wiles, and West were able to get separation 1, 2, 3 here on lap number 1. You're able to go ahead and pull ahead in number 97 machine of Eric Drapeau. No problem there. Drapeau's going to fall back into 4th. Battle's now going to be for 5th place between Rittenauer and Yingling. It looks like Rittenauer is going to use that momentum from the top group here to get around the 03 machine. Brandon Kluster's in the 25 is going to see if he's going to do something about that too here using the high line, but doesn't. And it looked like almost a plow situation off the corner here for the number 97 machine. As here goes Rittenauer looking to the inside of that 97 machine. This is a battle for 4th, as we're also watching a battle for 6th and 7th behind it. Drapeau's going to be able to use that momentum off the top roof here to stay ahead of Rittenauer. Single file mostly throughout the whole entire top 10 here. Look a little further back here. Carbonell's by himself. It's going to be side by side between 12th and 13th here. So on the outside here of Russi. Russi's able to maintain that position here and keep 12th place locked down. Again, lap number 30 is stage number 1. And we'll see Shiflett here actually go on the inside of Sorot. And he looks like he's going to be able to complete that pass on the inside here and move himself up to 13th place. Again, Shiflett is in that points battle here for 16th right now. Again, that's going to be the bottom right hand of your scoring pylon here on the bottom of the screen. You can see it's going to be live updated. We might change that next week where we can have it show points compared to 15th and whatnot, because the closer and closer we get to that regular season finale at Darlington, better situation we have here. Things have been pretty single filed out. Most of the gaps throughout the whole entire field is about 0.2 of a second. Even though Kevin West is all over the back bumper of that number 88 machine per second. You can see there was a car, I think, a little higher up. That might have been the 45 machine. As Klusterhuis is now trying to see if he can send something up here on number 87 machine. But he's going to lose a little bit of time here into 3 and 4. So either Millett's saving tires or Wiles is faster, because Wiles was able to close a little bit of time here on Millett here on that last lap. He was almost a full 1/10 of a second faster, 9/100ths of a second. But you got America Racing teammates here, 1, 2, 3, so I wouldn't be surprised if these guys are going to kind of play that F1 role of teammate racing, trying to create a gap. Also wouldn't be surprised if these guys are trying to save a little bit of tire, because this is one of those tracks, I mean, it's very tight radius for corners and a lot of speed, a lot of corner speed. I mean, we're doing 140, 150 through the corners, so I wouldn't be surprised if these guys are out here trying to save some tires on this machine. Trying to look for your closest battle on the racetrack, and I mean, it's Rittenauer over the back bumper of Drapeau for 4th. And they're mostly single file throughout the whole entire field. This looks like Drapeau might have got a little bit loose there. Here's Kluser, who's actually forced his nose to the outside of Rittenauer off of turn 4. He's going to try to see if he can use something off the high line here to try to get around him. And so I think passing is going to be difficult. By the way, we did get an update for when the Season 3 patch update's going to come out for iRacing, and it's not a favorable one for these guys who are going to be out here on the racetrack. It's going to happen next Tuesday. It's going to happen Tuesday morning. It's going to happen 8 a.m. Eastern time, 7 in the Central Central time zone. So it's really a terrible time for these guys. Depending on how long the patch is going to take, these guys might not have time to go out there and test everything that's going to change with this car. From what we know right now, we're getting an updated tire. We're getting the tire they currently have on the GTPs. We're also going to get some aero updates. And I mean, aero update might not play a huge factor for these guys when we go to Chicago next week. But when we go to Darlington in 2 weeks, that could be interesting. The tires are really going to be the name of the game. From seeing what I've seen from content creators on this, those tires are going to take a little bit of getting used to. I mean, it made a huge difference, I think, on the GTPs, and it might make a huge difference when you come to these Gen 7 stock cars here on iRacing. But it looks like Kevin West had a moment there off of turn 4. He's going to lose 2 spots and fall back to 5th. That's going to give Drapeau and Rittenauer an opportunity to move up a spot. Drapeau is borderline in that spot to be locked in via points. I think a good finish tonight will give him the opportunity, especially in both stages here. But as we can come complete lap number 15, we're halfway through stage number 1. It's still Millett and Wiles out front. Millett has increased that lead by 0.2 of a second now. And they got a little bit of a gap back to Drapeau. Taking a look around the racetrack here, Yingling was closing in here on Klusterhuis, but that might be because he behind a little bit of a slower Kevin West here. West might have heated those tires up a little bit here and trying to get him cooled back down so he can go back on the attack. His lap before this was a 24-second lap, and he ran a 23.6 this last lap. And I mean, tire wear is kind of showing right now. I mean, these guys are about 3-4 tenths of a second slower than the fastest lap they ran so far tonight. Really just trying to look through the field here and see our closest battle, and it's this battle right here from 5th on back. These guys are really as close as we've seen so far. As West is going to see if he can use any of the momentum we had there to get to the inside of Rittenauer, but doesn't look like it's going to happen. He's just going to sit there and stay in 5th. Battle for the last stage point here is we have 12 to go in the stage. Tresson has fallen back to Carbonneau. Had about 7 tenths of a second gap here between those two from early start here. You can see Sawyer Ott back there in the 35 get into the wall. That was a pretty decent hit, and I wouldn't be surprised maybe got a 2x from that, and potentially could be seeing some wheel damage here. So we have some carnage going on here. For 5th, West is in the outside lane here. Kluster is on the inside. Seeing if he can get around West. But he's for sure going to get around Rittenauer. It looks like Rittenauer might have been the driver who had the moment there. He ran a 24.5 that last lap. And that caused Kevin West to be able to get around him. Coming to 9 to go in the stage. Oh, Matt Cherry's going to have a moment. He's going to corral it into the wall. It doesn't affect any other drivers. We stay green. Corner exits, just like Bristol. We go to Bristol later on in the season, I do believe. It's going to be a huge emphasis for some of these drivers. Try not to overdrive it on the corner. Try to get it pushing tight loose here on the corner exits. And you kind of saw it there from Cherry that last lap. You can kind of see it there from Russi a little bit further back. Those guys just getting a little bit too loose here on corner exit. But Wiles is starting to reel and mill it here with 7 to go in the stage. Coming to 7 to go in the stage. Trying to see if he can get a stage win. Was unable to do that a week ago. 1 week ago, Millet swept both stages. Wiles almost had him there in stage 2 as a photo finish type of finish here. But he started to reel him back in. It looked like Millet's been able to pull that distance a little bit further back. 5th place. Klusterhuis and Yingling. These two are starting to tighten back up here. And it looks like Drapeau might be struggling a little bit. And it looked like maybe some wall contact a little further back here. As Pamitat's actually going to get inside of Rittenauer. This is a battle for 7th. Pamitat's going to have the advantage on corner exit, but I expect the momentum from the top group here from Rittenauer to keep him side by side into 3. And through 3 into 4, Pamitat's going to have the opportunity to clear. Rittenauer will just go ahead and fall right back in line. As it looks like Carbonneau might have gotten tight there corner exit and put Cherry into the wall. Another time we see Matt Cherry into the wall tonight. And it's just one of those things. This is a track well known on the sim. It just corner exits on it is the trouble spot. And when I was talking to some drivers last week, we were talking about how this could potentially be I'm going to say it, pardon my language here, a shit show type of race. It's because you get so tight on corner exits, even if you attempt to go too wide, it's going to cause the carnage we're seeing here. By the way, West was able to get around Drapeau, and it looks like Drapeau is really struggling right now. Ran 24.2 that last lap. We'll see here after West was able to get by. Yeah, 24.5. So Drapeau is struggling, and he's going to be side by side with Kluster 1 and 2. And we'll see here. I mean, both these drivers were able to keep it away from the wall there, but it's a really tight situation when you go too wide on these corner exits. You can see right there, Drapeau almost got into the wall there, so he's going to lose 5th place to Yingling. 2 to go in the stage. It's still Zach Millet out front. He's got about a 3/10 of a second lead here. And he's looking to go 3 in a row in the terms of stage. As we come off turn number 4, we hit lap number 30, starting on lap number 30. 1 to go in the stage. Just taking a look here. Bow for 10th in the stage. There's nothing really going on. It's 8/10 of a second. But there could be a bow here for 9th. And as we come through 3 and 4, Millet will win stage number 1 here from Dover. And back to 10th, 9th. Cherry is going to maintain that spot. So Millet, Wiles, West, Kloosterhuis, Yingling, Drapeau, Rittenauer, Cherry, Carbonneau is your stage points winners here in stage 1. That was a pretty calm stage 1, if I had to say myself. Quickly can get my points updated here for y'all, so we can get the most accurate points for you guys going forward in this one. I messed up somewhere. I forgot to write someone down in my stage tallies. Uh-oh. Pamitat, Brand Pamitat earned stage points. He finished 7th in that stage. All right. So we'll let Millet get his pit stop done, and then we'll pull him up into the booth and talk about his first stage. But off the pit road, Kloosterhuis and Yingling look like to be able to get around West here. So West is going to look like he's going to lose 2 spots on pit road. And if you can look at pit stop times, yeah, 14.8. And that quick took a 9.2 second pit stop there. That's very, very interesting, if I have to say. But we'll go ahead, scroll and find that 31 machine here in Discord, and we'll move him up into the booth, and we'll talk to him about stage number 1.
Hey, what's up?
You want another stage?
Nice.
Were you worried there for a brief second? I mean, Wiles was reeling you in a tiny bit there. Or did you feel like you had enough tire there to hold him off?
Dude, I'm shot. I forgot about the stages. I was racing like we had a full stint there. So I was trying to save tire and just try to like not burn my stuff up. And I think it was about 6 or 7 laps to go, and Danny's like, "Yeah, we're almost to the stage." Oh, for God's sakes!
When you were able to actually pull away from there, you got him about 4/10 of a second when he came to the line there, so you were able to save enough tire in that situation to hold him off.
Yeah, it's rare that I can save tire in a stint better than Dan. But I know him. I know he learned a lot, and that was 25 laps, so I'd be watching that 88 car this run.
I will keep an eye on it. But congratulations on winning stage 1, and hopefully we'll be talking to you here in about, 36 laps.
I hope so, man.
I hope so, too. As that was the driver number 31 machine stage 1 winner, Zach Millet. And as we're going to get ready to get to the restart zone here to start stage number 2. Again, stage 2 will end on lap number 70. As they hit the no longer Geico restart zone to go back racing here from Dover. Oh, Kloosterhuis was so close. Oh, that was really close there going into 1. I thought he had the nose there for a brief second, but Wiles was able to shut the door real quick. And this closer is going to be all over the back bumper of this 88 machine. These guys do have a little bit further of a distance to go, 36 laps this time instead of 30. So we'll see who can save tire a little bit better this run. Kind of calm down here, taking a little further back. I think Matt Quick was able to get some sort of advantage here. He took 9.2 seconds on his pit stop. He might have took 2 tires to get him into the top 10. And then we'll take a quick look here. Muniz, he moved into the top 10 as well. Looking at his pit stop, Ryan Muniz, number 81 machine, 14.6. Looked like a couple guys took a little bit longer of a pit stop. Maybe even Luke Carbono. He looked like he just drove through pit road. He's all the way back there in 20th place now. Did earn himself a stage point, though. Looking out front here right now, this is where all the action is going to be, I think. I mean, Kevin West has a couple cars he now has to drive through, but we did see that after his little bit of a moment there earlier on in stage 1, he was able to rebound and get back through. And the name of the game, I think, for this run is see how these guys can save tires. Because, again, I don't think in stage 3, the final stage of the race, which will be about when everything's all said and done, 56-ish laps to go, fuel's going to be a concern for these guys. So it's going to be tire, the name of the game. So seeing what you can do here in this run where you have to run 5 more laps than you did in the prior run to save tire is going to be huge for some of these guys. Mr. Hoos is all over the back bumper a while here for second. Close as we've seen somebody to the back bumper of second place tonight. I mean, West was up there earlier on, but it hasn't been this close. So I really think that 88 machine might be trying to save some tire. Back to the battle for 8th. Side by side between the 81 89 machines. Muniz is going to, again, this is where I was talking about. It gets real tight on the corner exits here. So trying to be too wide, it's going to be a very, very hairy situation. And again, I think Quick took 2 tires on that pit stop, or maybe even just a little bit less fuel in that car to get him to the end of the stage. See, the numbers I've been given, like someone said the tested 50 laps and was able to get at least 50 laps, and 60 shouldn't be a problem. So it might be one of those things where he didn't fill that tank full of fuel. As here goes Brandon Kluser, who's side by side with Wiles in 1 and 2. Wiles goes to the extreme top groove here, and I think he's just going to let that 25 machine go. So move Brandon Kluser, who's up to second. Wiles did have the run off the corner exit here. It was all over the back bumper going into 3, but I think he might be in that tire saving mode. Based on the lap times between the 31 and the 88, they're running 23.5s compared to Kluser's 23 3s. So those 2 might be in a mode of trying to save some tire, where Brandon's just trying to reel them in, get by them, and get into that tire saving mode. But 44 complete. We have 26 to go on the stage, and things have been pretty more racy here to start stage number 2. Again, looking at that battle for 8th, it was side by side for a brief second. Muniz looked to move up the racetrack here to see if he can do something. But Quick right now, again, I believe he might be on 2 tires. I'm not 100% sure. I'm just going based off of pit stop times what I have from my timing scoring sheet. He had a 9.2 second pit stop, and he was able to leapfrog a bunch of cars to get him into the top 10. Also, taking a look here at the battle for 16th. This does not have stage points updated, but I don't think any of those guys had stage points. As Quick had a moment there, Muniz is going to get into the wall, and he might be done for here. Those tires might be a little bit used, but it was a moment indeed, and we'll go back and watch it real quick. Oh, I think Quick turned in the corner. little bit sooner than Pamitat realized, and that got Quick all out of shape. I mean, Quick only lost one spot in that situation. That's very, very interesting. By the way, I think Kluster's going a little bit harder there on that run. The beginning of this run so far is starting to have a little bit of effect for him. He's running now 6/100ths of a second slower. Barely any time here to that 31 machine. And that's starting to cause some stack ups back here. As you can see, the 88 machine of Wiles is going to try to see if he can get around him on the outside. It's not going to work now. He's going to do the crossover down the back straightaway. He's now going to be side by side with him going into 3. Kluster is going to have the momentum off the top. He's going to run him very, very tight here to maintain that spot. As we are 50 laps complete in this race, 80 to go, 20 to the stage. These two racing here for seconds, getting all opportunity for Milch to pull away. And it's also Kevin West was able to move a spot here. He's now in fourth. You can see a little bit free there off a corner exit. It's not free because the car's loose. It's free because the car's tight. He has so much wheel input into that car. Trying to get it turned through these corners, it's just, once you get it going back straight, it just gets loose. So it's not a free moment because the car's actually loose. It's because you're plowing tight off the corners. And you can see it there again. I mean, also this banking on this racetrack doesn't help. As Wiles now takes a look at the top side here to see if he can do something here again. Maybe he'll try the crossover move again down the back straightaway. We'll use the top again going into turn 3. We'll just stay right behind that 25 machine. And if I had to guess, Wiles is trying to run Kluster who's harder than he wants to run right now. Because that'll put more force him to use his tires a little bit more. They're side by side back there for 13th place. Rittenauer's going to hang on to the position. And again, you can see how loose that car gets. And again, it's truly not from a loose setup on the car. If we go on board with these guys, you can just see real quick. I'm going to just turn this off. I mean, just look how far over that wheel is going in the corner. We'll watch it here again. This is watching Rittenauer. Just to get this car turned, that is a lot of wheel input to get this car to turn. It's just so tight that once you get off the corner and get it back going straight, it's just loose. Just so much wheel input there. Millet has almost an 0.8 of a second lead here over Klusterhuis. And again, I think Brandon really used his tires up here because he's 0.3 of a second slower than Millet. And I mean, he made up a little bit of time there, but lost it on a corner exit. As we have 57 completed. Again, we're racing the lap 70 here in stage number 2. Millet's trying to go to sweep the stages again. And I think he's really liking that Brandon was able to get in front of Wiles. So it looks like Wiles is really just trying to see if he can get around him. I mean, he's running faster lap times. A 20, an 88 to an 82, but just can't really get around him. And that potentially might get even worse when we see the season build next week. Behind Kluster is Wild West and Yingling. That's your top 5. Grapeau right now is being challenged by his teammate here in Brandon Pamitat. Looks like he's seen the wall a couple of times there in that right front. Right now, Pamitat's all over the back bumper of Drapeau. This is for 6th. And this is truly, I mean, your battle for 6th and what eventually is going to be your battle for 2nd, as Kevin West is actually going to get by Wiles. So we heard Millet say that Wiles is pretty good at saving tires, but he lost 2nd place there. And it might have been trying to force a hand into Klusterhuis to use his stuff up. As you can see, Wiles gets in a wall, and I truly think he might have really used his stuff up there. And he's potentially now going to lose another spot to Yingling here. And that's a side-by-side battle. That's for 4th on the racetrack. And almost hit the wall again here coming off of 4. By the way, I'm gonna pull up Millet real quick. There is something very, very interesting. We're gonna go on board with the cockpit of him. You'll see here going into 3. When they redid the artwork on this track, they took away the stands on certain settings. We have floating fans here at Dover. Of course, there's things I could do to, increase that, but we could run into more technical issues. And I don't really want technical issues because we kind of, yeah. By the way, Sorda has fallen back to 21st place. Last car on the lead lap. He looks like he's really struggling tonight in the number 35 machine. Our only previous winner in the field tonight here at Dover. The battle for 3rd still heating up with 6 to go in the stage. Yingling's really trying to see if he can get around West. What he's trying to do his best to earn Kevin Hash more points. Even though, I mean, in reality, it's just trying to get better seeding to get those well-needed playoff points here. And here comes Wiles back in the picture. Looks like West might be in a tight tire situation here. It's going to be very, very close to him hitting the wall there in corner exit. Yingling looking inside here, 1 and 2. As we have 4 to go in stage number 2. And he's just going to go ahead and get 3rd. So now, Millet does not have the buffer he's had most of the season behind him. America Racing, all season long, usually they've been the cream of the crop this season. They're usually running 1 through 4, and usually when one of these guys are out here leading the race like this and whatnot, they usually have 1 or 2 cars behind him to buffer. Millet right now has just a 2.5 second lead for his buffer over Brandon Kluster's. That's the buffer he needs. He's just been that fast. He's been able to save tires this run and keep himself out front. But now when we go into this pit stop here at the end of stage 2, he's not going to have his teammates right behind him. He's going to be in a situation we really haven't seen much since, I really think, Daytona. As becoming the last lap in the stage, 69 complete. Nice. On lap 70. So it's gonna be unknown territory for him, really for the first time in 8 races. But like we saw last week at Las Vegas, it's not really as interesting here. Zach Millet's going to sweep the stages. He'll win stage number 2 with Brandon Kluster, who's 2nd, Yingling 3rd, Wiles 4th, West 5th, Pamitat will come home 6th, 7th will see Drapeau, 8th will be Ryan Muniz. Huge points for him here in stage number 2 to get him further up on the cut line. Josh Coley will finish 9th, and rounding out your top 10 in stage number 2 will be Matt Cherry. So again, potential another max points day here in store for Millet. And could probably be really gosh darn close to Again, locking up that regular season championship before we even get to Darlington. And I got the stages updated, so we'll go ahead and export that real quick. And then we'll lose timing and scoring for a brief second while I do this. Well, I won't lose timing and scoring, but you're going to lose everything on your screen. And we'll watch these guys come down pit road. And we'll get points updated. And Millet's going to come off pit road first. Closer second. Don't know if Yingling beat... We'll see here. Yeah, Yingling beat Wiles. Habitat gets around west. And we should be able to open this back up. And we'll pull... Millet back in the booth again, you know. We'll pull him up into the booth. We spoke to him once. We'll speak to him again. Hell, we might speak to him 3 times tonight.
And I hope so.
Was that a little bit better of a tire-saving run this time by, or did you feel a little bit more confident knowing that Wiles wasn't behind you there?
It definitely felt good that time. I was paying attention to how many stage laps for the difference there, so that definitely changed things up. It made it feel a little more comfortable.
Well, you swept the stages again. You gotta be close to just getting that regular season championship locked up before we get to Darlington here. Yeah,
that'd be sweet. That'd be really awesome. That would definitely take the pressure off getting that. I don't know how close it is, but yeah, that'd be sweet.
I can tell you it's not close.
Perfect.
Well, congratulations on sweeping the stages tonight. I have a feeling if it's not for a winner's talk tonight, we'll be talking to you in some way, shape, or form because you have a car to beat. So,
well, you never know, man. Anything can happen here.
You're right. We'll go ahead and let you get back down there because you're getting to a restart. So, congratulations on winning stage 2.
Thanks, buddy.
A little bit longer of an interview than I wanted there, but we'll come into the restart zone this time. We got him out of here before we hit that restart zone. So. That is good. And he's back going. We're back racing here. We're on to stage number 3. Like I said, we're 74 complete. We're going to have 56 to go in the race. So, the longest run we're potentially going to see all night long is going to be this stint right here. We've been caution-free besides stages to this point, and we're gonna watch what can unfold. We haven't seen this. I don't think fuel's going to be concerned for most of these drivers. Again, it gets single filed out here. We'll actually have to go further back here. It looked like Cherry was going to look on the inside. Josh Coley here he's going to lose a couple spots here, maybe 3. But this is, again, the longest stint of the race we're going to see. As Kevin West is looking to challenge Brandon Pamitat for 5th. He's all over the back bumper of him through 1 and 2. Again, Millet doesn't... Like I was saying here at the end of stage 2, normally when we get to this point, he has teammates behind him. And I mean, he's pulling out to a half a second here on Klosterhuis. And I mean, he's running faster lap time, so he's able to pull away right now. It's going to be interesting because his teammates are going to have to get around traffic, going to have to race hard. And when we talked to him at the end of stage 1, Wiles was apparently better at saving tire than him. And you can kind of see it right now. He's going to get into the wall, and that might be some significant damage right there too. It could be a potential for steering to be off. everything kind of just points in the favor of Millet right now, because his teammate, who he said was better at saving tire, now has, what was that, 7 more cars to get through? As Wes is really hounding Pamitat right now for 4th, seeing if he can get by him. Again, this is the third to last race in the regular season. We go to the penultimate race next week at Chicago Street Course. Taking a look at the playoff cut line, it's 15 points between Caleb Rees in the 67, Treston Ott in the 15. And it's starting to get, and actually increase, it's now 16 points. It's starting to get into some of these guys where they have to get into must-win territory. You can see Wortman, he's back in 18th in points, and he's 27 points back. And I know Brian. Brian's out here. He's running 21st place, but he's out here saving tire. He's going to try to have the best fuel mileage he can have, and he's going to eke his way up into the top 10 or top 15. He's going to cut back into that some way, shape, or form. And that's just the Brian way, and that's why I love racing with Brian sometimes, because he just comes out here and just makes it work. Nothing truly to talk about on the racetrack. I mean, Kevin West, he lost a spot there to Drapeau, sitting now back in 6th. I wonder if he's in tire saving mode. Again, all the information I have, again, I don't have exact fuel numbers, is you should be able to make these 56 laps on fuel. Now, the one guy where it's getting interesting, he might have had some damage to fix. I mean, we're going to talk about 2 of them here. The 89 and the 33. These 2, if fuel does become a situation, are some of the best in the league at getting that fuel saving down right. They start to run off early. Don't fall too far off the pack. I mean, yes, you're 7 seconds off the race leader, but you're back here running 4-5 tenths of a second off of the race leader's lap pace, and you're just out. And they're out there saving fuel. Okay. So just keep an eye on it. If fuel does become a situation a little further on. By the way, Klusterhuis was reeling in Millet a little tiny bit there. And I think this is just, I think these guys aren't going hard up front because of tires. We saw it there towards the end of stage 2. Some of these guys are really struggling on the tires. So they might be playing a little bit easy here. That might be why the 88 fell back. And you can see, I think West just got into the wall there off of 4. He fell back to 8th because he's in just tire saving mode. I mean, we see it. West, he's back in 6th. Again, might be just saving tires. As, by the way, I really like that target machine right behind him here after everything that happened 4 weeks ago in New Hampshire. But I think Ryan's not going to hopefully do anything here. But it's just like the way I see some of these guys out here running. I mean, Josh Culley, he's fallen a second, almost 2 seconds off the car in front of him. Matt Quick, he's back here running 2-3 tenths of a second, a lap slower. Some of these guys just might be in save mode. So when we get closer to the end here, we have 41 to go. Maybe we get to 20 to go. They have a little bit something they can use to get back through the field, gain those spots for guys who are out here pushing it to the limit. That's my thought on it. By the way, this is the closest we've seen since probably lap 10 of this race, where guys been able to stay with Millet. Hasn't fallen to about 4 tenths of a second. So maybe they've saved enough where they can feel like they can start going a little bit here. I mean, Klusterhuis almost exactly 600ths of a second off a 63 to 69. I mean, Yingling in third, almost a full 10th off. Maybe they're getting to that point here, reaching 20 laps in the stint since they pitted. And when we went back racing with 56 to go, so that's about on par here. Maybe you get that 20 lap point where they can feel like, all right, we can start going a little bit harder here. We saved it a little bit. Maybe we can push it a little bit more. By the way, there were a couple people who did chat in our chat here. I do check that every once in a while. We do have a Larry Yingling fan out here. That happens to be the normal driver of the L3 machine, Kevin Hash. He said, go Larry. Larry's been great so far. He's running third. Earned stage points in both stages. And no, iRacing does not have an easy mode. So if you're still in here, you want to hit us with a chat, I'll look at it. If I feel like something I want to comment on, I'll comment on it. But those are 2 comments. So thank you for those comments. And I mean, you're also truly not missing anything on the racetrack here. Cherry, I think, gets into the wall again. It's truly just the racetrack. It's not himself. It's just such a tough track. That's why this track has as well as falls back another spot. Loses 8th to Rittenauer. But he's going to look again on the inside here. Yeah, he ran a 25-second lap that last lap. That's very, very interesting. By the way, Wortman has moved up to 19th place. Scheffler is now the last car on the lead lap. All 21 cars are on the lead lap. Carabina, unfortunately, did not turn any laps tonight, but he will get registered with 22nd place points. So I don't think he was in... I think he might have been in that situation where it must win for him. But he's still going to earn points tonight, so that'll be helpful in any sort of situation for him in the final finishing results. The Carbonell gets around Rittenauer, move him up into 9th. Again, he's ran enough races where I think he's an eye we're going to keep, a guy we're going to keep an eye on to next week at Chicago Street Course. And he did pretty good when we went to Portland race 3 or 4. So another one of those guys we're going to keep an eye out when we go to the Street Course of Chicago next week. Kind of like how we all keep an eye on Shane Van Gisbergen in real life. Carbono is one of those guys. And he's been having a pretty solid race tonight. Been around that 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th position all night long. Earned stage points in stage 1. I think it was right outside of it in stage 2. But again, another one of those guys where a win might be in his car, needs to be in this situation, and be one he can get next week. By the way, nothing has really changed on the racetrack. Sarat is closing in on that 50 machine of Russi. And you can kind of see that right side does have a little bit of damage on it. Might have gotten into the wall a few times tonight. That Menards paint scheme that was on Ryan Blaney last week at Nashville in real life is not really doing well tonight for Kreiser. Had an amazing run there at the end of stage 1 last week when he went down pit road and took tires. Staying back in 16th place. I was looking a little bit better of a night tonight, maybe hoping for some caution so he can play some strategy here to get himself some stage points. It's not really falling into his lap. Trust or not, he's struggled tonight. Qualified in the top 10, he's fallen back to 17th. And he might be losing a couple more spots here as Cully and Quick look like they decided to start going here. Trying to rebound here a couple spots. Caleb Reese, he's been a big surprise to me all season long. Currently sitting 16th in points, has a comfortable gap. I mean, he was in a pretty good spot there until the tires gave out from last week at Las Vegas. But sitting in 13th right now, looking to continue to increase his gap on that 17th point position, ahead of 17th in points, trying to make himself a playoff appearance in his first season. Trying to just take a look here. Yingling's fallen to about 0.4 of a second off. Millet has pulled out to a 1.2 second lead here as we're coming to 24 laps to go. And I think West has saved enough tire here that it's now go time as he's looking on the inside of Brandon Pamitat. This is the first action we've seen on the racetrack in quite a bit here. This looks like Rusi had a moment. He's going to come down pit road. Interesting to see that number 50 machine go down pit road. He'll lose a lap in the process. Might lose 2. Again, this is only a 1 mile racetrack, so might be it could pay off some dividends in the end here. You know, he's going to have 35 lap fresher tires, but it all depends on if he could just made it to the end on field. As West, I think, is going to be in the best position he's been in a while. Pamitat almost gets into the wall, but is going to avoid it. Well, he will fall back to 5th place. Those two racing side by side gave the ability for Yingling and Klusterhuis to pull their advantage here on 4th. That's Pamitat looking to try to send it again. But yeah, it just looked like Brucey came down pit road for a 4-tire pit stop. Did lose 2 laps in the process of it. Again, he's going to have the best tires on the racetrack. He's going to be running almost a full second quicker than some of these guys. Will it pay out for him in the end here as Kreiser had a moment here off of turn number 4? He's able to keep that 12 machine straight on the racetrack outside, away from the walls. I don't think anyone else is going to pit. 20 to go. I mean, it'd be a very bold strategy to pit at this point. As by the way, like I said, saving tires, saving fuel, saving whatever worked out for Coley. They're up to 13th. Quick is up to 16th. Looking at Wiles, hasn't really made any sort of progress here. Still saying, well, actually he's moved up 2 spots. He was back in 8th, now up to 6th. Looking at West, I mean, running a 10th quicker than Yingling. So maybe we'll see if he can get around him for 3rd with 18 to go. But 2 seconds is the advantage here between Mill and Klusterhuis. Mill trying to have I think the best perfect race he can have. Lead every single lap. He might not have the fastest lap bonus point. I don't think he will. So that looks like it'll go to maybe Matt Quick. But leading every lap, leading every single stage, leading a lap 0x is looking pretty good for him right now with 17 to go to have almost a max points day. By the way, Wiles gets around Pamitat for 5th. So those guys who were willing to fall back, saving tires, are starting to have it pay off right about now. We saw Wiles run a 24.20 that last lap, compared to a 24.34 from Millet, 24.41 from Klusterhuis. Unfortunately, he has to make up over 2.3 seconds on Klusterhuis to get a second. The best guy here with the odds of playing that strategy he did would be Kevin West, trying to get up to 2nd. But he does have to get around Yingling, who has picked up a little bit here in terms of lap time. Coley still has to make over a second here to make any other sort of passes here. Carbonneau was all over the back bumper. His teammate Ryan Muniz. And it looks like that 81 machine is starting to struggle a tiny bit here. Make a little bit of contact here on corner exit. No harm, no foul there. Yeah, almost a full second quicker, but again, just not enough time for Russi to, I think, have it pay dividends in the end. Maybe, I don't know, we're taking a look where he's at on the racetrack. Where's that 50 machine? He's over here in the back straightaway. Millet's up in turn 1. That's a whole track he needs to make up, and I'm not real sure if he can do that. As Kevin West does get around Yingling for 3rd. Now has a second to make up over here in the next 12 laps to get around Klusterhuis for 2nd. Wiles is able to get really only 0.4 of a second on Klusterhuis that last couple laps there. Not really enough time to get into at least a 2nd place finishing position. It's like West may have had a little bit of a moment there exiting for that time. Seen that numerous times tonight for that 01 machine. We're coming to 10 laps to go next time by. Millet comfortably with a 2.6 second lead. We'll having to start dealing with lap traffic this time. Being next time by. But here comes Wiles here for 4th. And kind of a great strategy call here. Fall back, run your own race, get into a 10 to go, 20 to go, 25 to go, and start making a push. And it's really paid off. For those two, the 01 and the 88 were able to move up a decent amount of time here, decent amount of positions. Don't know if they can get to Klusterhuis in 2nd with 9 to go. Well, maybe Wiles can, because he did get around West, who looked like he might have used his stuff up there. 0.2 of a second a lap faster last time by. 8 to go. Well, Russi is starting to catch the 97, so he's right around 7th place. But again, it's just, I mean, I like the call if it would have paid out more towards maybe only losing a lap. I mean, you're tracking over a full second quicker than the race leaders. And I think Klusterhuis also might have used this stuff up, because here comes Wiles. 0.4 of a second last lap faster. We'll see this lap. Yeah, he's gonna be right there on the back bumper going into 1. Yeah, 295 to 617. I think that was a great call to save tire and just get a P2 finish out of it. But Klusterhuis is not going to give it up easy here over the next 5 laps. He's going to make Wiles work for it. As Wiles going to take a look at the outside here. Of course, Klusterhuis on the bottom. It's going to really pay dividends for the 88 machine off of turn 2, because he's going to be able to get to the inside. The top really hasn't worked well corner entrance, but it has paid off corner exit. And we'll see it this time coming off of 4. And Klusterhuis is going to still stay side by side with him. 4 to go. And here comes Russi. Russi is going to get, I think, to 2nd on these fresher tires in the terms of getting his laps back, but unfortunately it's not going to get at least 1 back. I mean, he's going to have an opportunity here to catch Shiflett, I think, over the next 3 laps, but I actually don't think so. I mean, it's only a second's the difference. I mean, it's not even a second anymore. It's only a half a second. Zach Millet's going to come to 2 to go, dealing with a lot of lap traffic here. Sawyer that's now getting challenged by Brian Wortman for 18th. So move him up. Cully was able to get up to 11th here. I don't really think much can happen from that there. But Millet right now through 3 and 4 is really hoping to see that white flag in the starter's hand. Because the moment that flag is out there, the race is official. 1 lap to go, sponsored by nobody. And I mean, Yingling's trying to make a bounce back here on West for 4th. West is going to try to defend as much as he can through 3 and 4. But coming through 3 and 4, Zach Millet had an almost perfect race. Led every single lap, won both stages, but the only thing that eluded him was the fastest lap bonus point. He will win tonight the TQL 130. It'll be Daniel Wallace finishing 2nd. 3rd will come home to Brand Cruiser. Kevin West was able to hang on to 4th, and Larry Yingling will finish 5th. Again, an almost perfect race. The only thing I don't see him having would be that fastest lap. His fastest lap was a 23.204 compared to a 23.103. So, unfortunately, that's the only thing he was not able to get tonight. But we'll give him the opportunity to burn this thing down real quick. And then we'll pull him in and talk to him. For the 3rd time tonight. And I feel like this one, I wrote this down last week. This is his 5th win of the season. Getting pretty gosh darn close to probably locking up that regular season championship going well before Darlington. Might even have a chance to lock it up tonight. And he just had the best race he can have. I mean, it was a caution-free race besides the 2 stages. And he burned it down, so he's gonna burn down pit road too. That's cool. Actually, does Dover have one of those pit roads victory lanes you can go into? I think it does. Not. All right. I thought it did. All right. But we'll go ahead and he's writing a different number on my card. We'll pull him up into the booth. We'll have a word with him for the 3rd time tonight. Race winner, Zach Millet.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
That's your 5th win of the season. I keep the numbers right.
Beautiful. Keep her going, man.
You had the almost perfect race, points-wise. You want to know the one thing that eluded you?
Yeah, the fast lap probably, right?
Yeah, you're a full 10th off of that. But you led every single lap. You won both the stages. I mean, I don't think you hit the wall hard enough to get yourself a 2x anywhere. I mean, you're making the case to lock this regular season championship up, hell, even tonight.
Man, I hope so. I hope it's that close. I haven't looked at it, so I hope it's I hope it's wrapped up now. That'd be awesome.
It'd be very interesting. I think it'll be the earliest we've seen that locked up in league history. Pretty simple 3rd stage for you there. I mean, you were able to, as soon as tires started to wear off there, pull out to 4 second lead there. Wallace did bring it in towards the end, but you were dealing with lap traffic.
Yeah, I was coasting the last probably 15, 20 laps. I didn't want to put any pressure on the lap traffic and just let them run their race. And I had enough of a gap out the back. I knew Danny was coming, though. I'm telling you, saving tires. He was flying. His screen went black, actually. God, I don't know how many into that last run, but it was pretty early.
Yeah, so, I was wondering there. I was wondering because he all of a sudden loses 3 or 4 spots. I'm like, this can't be. I thought he might have gotten to the wall, and that was just enough to slow him down. And I didn't think he was saving tire that much, but now knowing that he had a black screen, that's kind of a good defeat. I mean, able to race through that, get the screen back, and come home and finish 2nd, that's a hell of a feat right there.
Pretty damn good comeback, yeah.
Well, I mean, there's very interesting, caution-free race beside the 2 stages. It's not what we kind of were thinking last week.
Yeah, I think we were kind of expecting the worst last week, but man, this turned out to be one of the cleanest races all year. I mean, this was really fun.
It was a very fun race to watch. Very very clean race to watch. We needed one of those after couple of races we had the last few weeks.
Yeah, I think the scariest part of the whole thing was the restarts in first gear because it's such a banking.
Oh yeah,
And it's
I
kinda
didn't even think
turn.
about that.
Yeah, it was sketchy.
Oh yeah, one of those concrete first gear. Ooh. Well, congratulations on your race win. One quick thought. Obviously, you've heard by now the season 3 build's coming out next Tuesday morning. Do you think you'll have time to get any sort of laps in before practice, or is practice gonna be the first time you think you're gonna get laps on the track with the new tire and everything else?
I bet that practice, as soon as it opens, that's going to be my first bunch of laps. I don't know. I'm hoping I can maybe get home early from work and get some in. I was kind of trying to hurry and get into practice tonight. I kind of know Dover pretty well, but it's been a while in this car. So I'm glad we could, the team could get out there and kind of figure it out pretty quick. And we always help each other out in practice as much as we can and give each other tips. So that's definitely a big part of it every week.
That is true. Before we go ahead and let you go and celebrate with the other two teammates who were here tonight, anyone would like to give a shout out to, a quick thank you for?
Yeah, big thanks to you, Alex, for the broadcast as always. The ITRL Iron Thunder Racing League as always for everything they do, all the admins behind the scene that put in all the work to just let us come out here every Tuesday night and have fun. Shout out to America Racing Team, another great finish by the boys tonight. Shout out to Team Conti Sim Performance as always. EMR Paintball, Bowie Esports, and that S4 guy on Twitch.
Were you streaming tonight?
Yes, very thankful I did tonight.
I think that curse might be gone now. I feel like that's what, 2, maybe 3 in a row that you won while streaming.
Yeah, I'll take it. I think the streaming is going to be every week now, no matter what.
I think it's a good choice. Well, congratulations on your race win, and we'll see you next week at the Chicago Street Course.
Sounds good, man. Can't wait.
I can't wait either. So that was race winner Zach Millett. We'll go ahead and pull up the 88 machine. Second place finish tonight. In, if it can get over here, Dane Wiles.
What's up, man?
I heard you had a brief moment there with some monitors.
Well, my one monitor, I was scared shitless. I was so scared because we went into the corner and everything went black, and we were coming out of the corner when it came back.
Now, here's a question. You probably ran with triples, right?
No, I have a 49-inch.
Oh, so it's even worse. Oh.
Yeah, I'm a single monitor gang.
Oh, no. Triples, I feel like it's not that bad. If one goes out, you still have the other ones to face, kind of give you a sense where you're at. But 149-inch, oh, that had to be scary.
Yeah, it was a scary. And the bad part about it is I was saving tires that whole beginning of that run. And them guys were burning their stuff up, and I knew it. So I just needed it to go green. And I was starting to catch the 81, and then that's when it happened. So I fell back another second or 2 seconds that I had to make back up again.
Yeah, I thought you got into the wall for a brief second and you went into ultra saving mode. I didn't realize the monitor went black.
Yeah. I was like, oh crap. I've never had it happen before. So it was a very scary situation.
Well, it's a good thing it came back on. You were able to rebound to a second place finish tonight. You're able to get down to 1.7 seconds, but I feel like that had to do with lap traffic, and Millett had a 4-second lead. So
yeah, I think he was trying to make it a little bit more exciting than what it was.
It was exciting early on. It's just as soon as tires hit that cliff, it was just like, nah, pull away. One of the guys would pull away. Well,
yep.
Another solid P2 finish that probably moved you up in the second in the points. Good stage points finishes tonight. You're for sure probably locked into playoffs after tonight, so at least you can get that one out of your head. You don't have to worry about missing the playoffs.
Yeah, I wish I can get into playoffs with a win, but hey, we'll take the points going in, and maybe we'll save all of our wins for the playoffs. Maybe.
That's a smart move. Save them. I did ask your teammate here. In case you probably also heard here, the season 3 build unfortunately happens to be on the morning of the race next week. He said hopefully you can get some time into practice with the changes coming to the car. Do you think you'll have time to practice that, or is when practice opens next week your only opportunity?
Dude, I gotta buy the track.
You don't own the street course?
No, I've never ran it. So I'm going to buy it this weekend. I'm going to throw some laps on. So if the car changes, guess what? I'm not really going to notice too much when it comes to there. I did the same with Portland. I didn't own Portland when we went there. So
I don't feel like anyone in the league owned it until like the week
exactly.
before.
So
I didn't own it until like I think 2 days before.
I wasn't going to run it. And then I wasn't going to run next week because since pretty much was locked in. Mm-hmm. But the other guys were saying, "Oh no, it's a fun track. It's a fun track." So we're gonna
surprisingly
purchase it.
I don't mind. That's like the one road course on the sim I don't mind. I have fun
That's
racing.
What I'm hearing.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, does it have a lot of 90-degree turns? Yeah, but it's fun once you get to know the track.
Yep. We'll run it with the line on for a couple laps and then we'll turn it off.
No, I just ride the whole race the line on. Who cares?
Nah, I don't
no
do
one
that.
No one's gonna know besides you. Unless you're streaming it, then chat might give you a time for that, but you know. Oh well.
Yeah, we'll be streaming.
Well, congratulations on your P2 finish tonight. Again, more than likely have your playoff spot locked up. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to? A quick thank you for?
Yep, Team Conti, as always. America Racing, all the teammates, all the guys. We push each other every week to get better. Everybody except for Zach. I'm getting tired of him out front all the time. No, I'm kidding. But as SimRap Market, you up in the booth, the broadcasts are always good. So, yeah, that's about it.
Well, congratulations on your P2 finish, and I'd say maybe like Thursday might be a good day to go out and buy a Chicago street course and get some laps in.
I mean, we can make it a challenge here. We'll wait to the night of and purchase it and do our practice laps in the race. How about that?
Honestly,
we're locked in.
That might not be a bad choice because everything I've heard, we're getting a new tire model, aerodynamic changes. That might not be a bad choice.
Exactly.
You know? So that could be a move right there.
Yep.
Well, congratulations on your P2 finish, and we'll see you next week at the Chicago Street Course.
Appreciate it. See you next week.
Yeah. And so that was second place finish tonight, the 88 machine of Daniel Wallace. That just leaves one more interview to do, and that'll be the 25 machine. He's still in Discord, so we'll pull him up into the booth. So I'm pretty sure he's having a conversation with some guys down there. Brandon.
Yeah.
You finished third tonight.
Yep.
How'd it go?
Tried our hardest. And this is what we got.
I mean, good points night. Probably clinched yourself a playoff spot.
Yeah. Tried our best. See if we can get them next week.
Are you worried about the build being that morning or not?
No, I'll drive whatever, whenever, and figure it out like I always do. It's just got to figure out how to turn the wheel 0% and get the car to turn, I guess.
Interesting. Well, I feel like you were in the middle of conversations down there, so I'll go ahead and make this short and sweet for you. Anyone like to give a shout out to, a quick thank you for?
Thanks for you for the broadcast, everybody watching. Just been a disappointing season, and see if we make gains and take that next level, but it's just been hard.
Well, congratulations on your P3 finish tonight, and we'll see you next week at the Chicago Street Course.
Sounds good, man. Thanks for the broadcast.
No problem, man. As that was P3 finisher tonight in Brandon Klusterhuis. We'll quickly just go over your running order for tonight. Toggle results. Again, it was Millet, Wiles, Klusterhuis, your top three. Kevin West was able to rebound for saving some tire, come home fourth. Larry Yingling filling in for Kevin Hash comes home fifth. Decent run for him tonight. Brandon Pamatak comes from 6th, Eric DePoe 7th. A great run for Luke Carbonell comes from 8th, Matt Cherry 9th, and Ryan Muniz rounds out your top 10. 11th through 20th, we'll see Josh Coley, Ray Rittenauer, Matt Quick. Those two were able to stay tire and get to the fringe of the top 10. I don't know how close it was. We'll take a look here. It was close. Just not enough time there towards the end for them for at least Coley to get to the top 10. Quick was 5 seconds behind him. But was able to rebound to 13th there. 14th was Roy Grande. Treston comes home 15th. Caleb Reese comes home 16th. Zach Greiser 17th. Brian Whitman 18th. Sawyer Ott 19th. And Nathan Shiflett will come 20th. 1 lap down. And then on the next page here, you'll see Brian Rusi, who comes home 21st tonight, 2 laps down. A very, very interesting call there to make some stuff on tires there. It was a call. I feel like it might have been a better move if he didn't lose 2 laps here. Could potentially fought back there because you saw him there. There were moments we were checking in, and he was able to. He was able to get up to 3rd on tires there. Almost could have probably gotten around here if we had a couple more laps to get at least one of them back. But just not enough. Carabina did turn a lap tonight, but will come home 22nd. Jeff P will get credited with 23rd, and Dylan Hill gets credited with a 24th finish without even turning a qualifying lap or a race lap. So there's that. Look at your points. 101's the gap between 1st and 2nd. Tucker falls down to 5th. Klisterhuis moves up to 3rd in points. Just doing the math, I think the max points you can gain a race, winning the race, stages 68 so points, all said and done. So as long as Millet doesn't miss next week, he just starts it, he will clinch, I think, the regular season championship. It would take Millet missing the next 2 races for anyone to have a chance at winning that. It's a great points battle here because I think there's a graphic for this. Actually, it's on a graphic. Just looking off it, you get playoff points for your points finishing spots, so there is opportunities there. All the way back to, I think, maybe even 10th in points to earn playoff points there. So even though it doesn't seem like it's a huge difference for some of these guys here looking to advance, whom I've already advanced, just a racing between them gives you more playoff points when all is said and done. When it comes to the playoffs. So there is that. So they are, even though like I think here, Wiles, Klisterhuis, Kevin Hash, Ray Rittenauer, those guys might be in a secure enough points position to get themselves already locked in via points. They're still racing within that span here to get more playoff points to help them advance through the playoffs. Because each win and whatnot, even your regular season finishing order, gets you points that carry throughout the whole entire playoffs. So that's something they're racing for from here on out. Tucker, like I said, falls back to 5th. Storm Patterson will still be in the top 10 points, even though he's missed 2 races. That's very astonishing. I think he would fall out the top 10 points. And then this is where our focus is going to be over the next couple of weeks here. Looking at this battle for 16th in points. Because right now, at most, we can have 2 new winners. And I think we could see a potential new winner, maybe in that 92 machine, get himself in there, even further back. Maybe we get a surprise winner at Darlington, but a surprise winner then will move the cut line to the next person. So we'll say, just for fun here, let's say, I don't know, Kreiser or Rusi or Carabina, Carbonell, one of those guys wins, the cut line will then be Sawyer. The cut line right now is 9 points unofficially. There could be any sort of changes. My numbers could be wrong. The cut line right now is 9 points. A winner outside the top 16 in points will then move that cut line to Sawyer, and then become a 21 point difference. So it's a lot of focus on here because I'd say from 30 points, I think Quick's in a safe position here. 27. A little bit less of a safe spot, but Muniz on back is where it's going to start getting interesting for points and whatnot over the next 2 weeks. So when I'm going to see if we can do something here for you guys on the graphic. We're going to probably show 14th on through 19th in points like we have been showing. And it's going to probably have the points behind Muniz. That's going to be my target line. And it's going to be a little bit better to see than when you see on the graphic here. Okay, yeah, Reese is 280 points back, and then Treston's 291. You then have to do math in your head. 11 points is the difference, and that's just where it gets. Make it a little bit more easier for you guys to see there. And like I said, some of these guys back here are must-win territory. I would say Chrysler on back might be in must-win territory. I mean, Shiflet's 25 back. 30 back is where it starts to get tough to make up. And it's, I mean, the next 2 tracks aren't really easy tracks either, so it's gonna be interesting. That's gonna do it for us. We'll be back again next week, same time. Yep, got the points actually updated real quick. Yeah, the 11 points is the correct gap. But we had a live same time. We at the Chicago Street Course. Don't know when the stage caution will be thrown, but like at Portland, one stage will not have the caution, one will, and I feel like it's gonna be a very interesting race. Just because of tires and whatnot. The tire alone is gonna make it interesting. Seeing how these guys can adapt to that. So yeah. That'll do it for us. We'll be back same time next week. Till then, goodbye.